Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're looking ahead.
To the future.
To the future, that's right. Specifically to 2025 and the exciting world of AI stocks.
A lot of buzz around AI.
Definitely a lot of buzz. And to help us navigate this landscape, we're going to unpack an article from The Motley Fool.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's called History Says the Nasdaq Will Soar in 2025. My top 10 artificial intelligence AI growth stocks to buy before it does. Catchy title.
Definitely grabs your attention.
It does. Now, of course, it's just one expert's opinion.
Sure.
But it gives us a great starting point for our deep dive.
I think it's a really interesting take. I mean, it doesn't just focus on the hype surrounding AI, which there's a lot of.
Yeah, for sure.
It actually dives into the historical performance of the Nasdaq.
So there's some data to back up the claims.
Exactly. And it connects that performance to the projected growth of AI. It really makes you think, could 2025 be a huge year for AI stocks?
Okay, so let's start with this historical pattern. What's the article saying exactly about the Nasdaq's performance? Well, it points out that the Nasdaq Composite has seen some pretty significant gains in recent years, particularly in 2023 and 2024 with the rise of AI. We're talking 43% and 33% respectively.
Wow, those are some big numbers.
Big numbers indeed. But here's what's really interesting. Since 1972, whenever the Nasdaq has had a yearly gain of 30% or more,
Okay.
it's climbed an average of another 19% the following year.
So following that logic, 2025 could be another strong year for the Nasdaq.
That's the idea. And if that happens, AI stocks could see a significant boost.
That makes sense. But why is AI specifically being linked to this potential surge?
Well, the article argues that AI is a major driving force behind this potential surge. Remember that $15.7 trillion projection by 2030 from PricewaterhouseCoopers?
Yeah, I've heard that number thrown around.
It's not just some random number. It represents a massive economic shift powered by AI. And that growth could translate into some really big profits for the leading companies in the AI space.
Okay, I see where this is going. So if AI is going to have that kind of impact, investing in the right AI stocks now could potentially lead to some serious gains in the coming years.
That's the big question, isn't it? Which stocks are the right ones? Well, that's where the Motley Fool's top 10 list comes in. They've grouped these companies in 4 categories.
4 categories.
Yeah. And I think it's a pretty insightful way to look at the landscape.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive into these categories. So first up, we have the essentials.
The essentials. These are the companies that are kind of building the foundation for this whole AI revolution.
The foundation, got it.
You can't build a house without a strong foundation, right?
Makes sense.
They're providing those core technologies that will make widespread AI adoption possible.
So those are the building blocks.
Exactly.
And the companies in this group are Nvidia, Palantir, and Microsoft. Let's start with Nvidia. I know they make those really powerful processors.
Super powerful.
Super powerful, yeah, that are
Right.
crucial for AI, right?
Absolutely. The article actually calls the demand for NVIDIA's processors insane.
Insane, wow.
And it doesn't sound like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah.
They're about to launch their next generation of processors, the Blackwell series.
Blackwell series, okay.
And they have a really fast product release cycle.
So even with competition in the AI chip market heating up,
It's getting fierce out there.
it sounds like Nvidia is staying ahead of the curve.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Their focus on rapid innovation is a big part of their success.
Innovation is key in this space, for sure.
Absolutely. And then we have Palantir, a company that's been involved in AI for over 2 decades.
Wait, really? I thought they were more of a data analytics company.
They are, but they've been incorporating AI into their solutions for a long time. What's really interesting about Palantir is their artificial intelligence platform.
Oh, yeah, they're AIP.
Exactly, AIP. They're seeing a lot of success with it, and their customer acquisition strategy is pretty unique.
Unique, how so?
They actually offer boot camps to teach their clients how to use AI effectively.
Boot camps, that's interesting.
Yeah, a very hands-on approach, and it's led to some impressive deals and a surge in new customers.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, they're not just selling the tech, they're making sure their clients know how to use it to its full potential.
All right, and last but not least, in this essentials category, we have Microsoft.
Microsoft. Their investment in OpenAI.
The creators of ChatGPT.
Exactly, ChatGPT. That was a real game changer. It put them right at the forefront of this whole generative AI boom.
Yeah, it seems like they're really capitalizing on that investment. The article mentions their Copilot AI assistants, which are integrated into their software,
Right.
and their Azure Cloud platform, which is benefiting hugely from their AI focus.
Azure is definitely a powerhouse in the cloud computing space, and their AI strategy is a big part of that.
Some analysts are even predicting that Microsoft's AI efforts, particularly with Copilot, could bring in an additional $100 billion in revenue.
$100 billion, that's a staggering number.
It is. So these essentials companies are all playing a crucial role in developing and deploying these core AI technologies. But what about the companies that are building the infrastructure to support all of this?
That brings us to our next category, the infrastructure companies.
The infrastructure, okay.
Yeah. These are the players who might not be as flashy as the Nvidias of the world.
Right, they're behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But they're providing the essential hardware and manufacturing capabilities that are absolutely vital for AI's advancement.
So without them, the essentials wouldn't be able to do what they do?
Exactly. It's like building a highway system. You need the roads and bridges before you can have the cars.
I like that analogy.
And in this category, we have some heavy hitters. Broadcom, ARM Holdings, and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, also known as TSMC.
Okay, let's start with Broadcom. What's their story?
Well, they're projecting some pretty astonishing growth.
Ooh.
We're talking a potential 500% increase in AI revenue by 2027.
500%. That's incredible. How are they planning to achieve that?
A couple of key things they're focusing on. They're developing custom AI accelerators.
AI accelerators.
These are specialized chips designed to speed up AI processing. They're also attracting new hyperscale customers. These are those massive companies with huge data centers and computing needs.
Okay, so they're essentially providing the hardware that powers AI for these giant tech companies.
That's a good way to put it.
What about ARM Holdings? I know they design chip architectures.
Yeah, they're the architects.
But how does that relate to AI?
ARM Holdings plays a crucial role in the AI ecosystem. They provide the blueprints, the intellectual property, for the CPU and GPU cores that are used in a vast number of chips. Think about Nvidia's GH200 superchip. Well, it uses ARM v9 cores.
Oh, wow.
That's just one example of how ARM's technology is woven into the fabric of AI advancements.
So even though they're not directly manufacturing the chips themselves, they're essential for the whole process.
Absolutely. They're kind of the unsung heroes of the chip world.
And then there's TSMC, a giant in the semiconductor world, the world's largest contract chip maker, actually.
A real powerhouse.
And they supply to almost all the major players in AI, including the companies we've already discussed. So they're basically manufacturing the chips that are designed by companies like Nvidia and ARM.
That's right. TSMC is a dominant force in the industry, and their dominance is only expected to grow. They're projecting a tripling of revenue from AI processors, and they're investing heavily in new fabrication facilities to meet the surging demand.
So what do you make of these infrastructure companies? Are they as essential as the article suggests?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. If you're looking to invest in the AI boom, you can't ignore the companies that are providing the foundation for it all. Without them, none of the exciting AI applications would be possible.
That makes a lot of sense. So far, we've explored the essentials, the companies creating those core AI technologies, and the infrastructure companies building the hardware and manufacturing capabilities that make it all possible. But what about those tech giants we all know and use every day? Where do they fit into this picture?
That's an excellent question, and it leads us perfectly into our next category. The tech giants leveraging AI. These are the companies that have already integrated AI into their core businesses and are pushing the boundaries even further. We're talking about the likes of Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. These are the companies that are already part of our daily lives. How are they using AI to transform their businesses and potentially create even more value for investors?
Let's dive into that in part 2 of this deep dive. Stay tuned.
All right, so we're back and ready to dive into those tech giants.
Big players.
The big players, exactly, who are leveraging AI in some pretty impressive ways.
They've got the resources to do it.
They do. So let's start with Alphabet, the parent company of Google. I mean, they've always been at the forefront of AI, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely. They've been using AI in their search algorithms and advertising platforms for years.
Right from the start, pretty much.
Pretty much. But now they're taking it to the next level with their cloud services and some really interesting projects.
The article mentions something called Gemini 2.0.
Gemini.
What is that exactly?
It's not just one AI model. It's a whole family of them.
Oh, wow. A family of AI.
Yeah. They have one called Jules that helps developers write code,
Oh, that's interesting.
and another one called Mariner that can interact with websites almost like a virtual assistant.
It's a little helper.
Exactly. And then there's Astra, which seems to be this all-purpose AI agent.
All-purpose, okay.
That can work across Google Search, Lens, and Maps.
So they're creating these specialized AI tools for different tasks.
It seems that way. They're not just focused on building the biggest and most powerful AI. They're thinking about how to integrate AI seamlessly into their existing products and services.
Yeah, that makes sense. Make it user-friendly.
Exactly.
Okay, what about Amazon? They're not always as vocal about their AI advancements.
A little more quiet.
Yeah, but I know they're doing some pretty cool stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure they are.
For sure.
Their CEO, Andy Jassy, recently made a pretty bold statement, actually.
Good.
He said that Amazon Web Services, or AWS,
AWS, right,
has released almost twice as many machine learning and generative AI features in the past 18 months
Wow.
as their competitors combined.
That's impressive. What are some examples of what they're doing?
Well, they're making it easier for other businesses to use AI through their Bedrock platform.
Bedrock, okay.
This gives customers access to some of the most popular AI models without having to build everything from scratch.
Ah, so it's kind of like a shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to AI.
Yeah.
They're also developing their own AI chips,
Your own chip.
Inferentia and Trainium,
Okay.
which are specifically designed to make AI processing more cost-effective.
So they're not just using AI for themselves, they're making it more accessible for others to use as well.
Exactly. They see a huge opportunity in providing AI as a service.
AI as a service.
And they're building the infrastructure and tools to make that happen.
Smart move.
Very smart.
All right, let's move on to Meta, formerly Facebook. I mean, they've been using AI for years to personalize news feeds and target ads.
Oh, yeah, they're pros at that.
Pros at that, but it sounds like they're making a big push into generative AI with their Llama model.
Llama, it's generating a lot of buzz.
What is Llama exactly? I haven't really...
So it's a large language model similar to ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
And what's interesting is that Meta has decided to make it freely available to most individual users.
Freely available.
Yeah. But hyperscalers and cloud providers have to pay for access.
Hyperscalers. Can you explain what hyperscalers are? I'm not sure everyone's familiar with that term.
Of course. Hyperscalers are essentially the giants of the tech world.
Giants, okay.
The companies that operate these massive data centers and cloud computing platforms.
Okay, got it.
Like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Those are the big ones.
The big ones, yeah.
They have a huge appetite for computing power and data, and they're increasingly using AI to manage their operations and deliver services to their customers.
Okay, that clarifies things. So in a way, these hyperscalers are the customers of those essentials and infrastructure companies we discussed earlier.
You could say that.
Yeah.
They're the ones buying those powerful processors from Nvidia, the chip designs from ARM, and the manufacturing capacity from TSMC.
Right.
They're building the infrastructure that will support the next generation of AI applications, both for their own use and for their customers.
Right. So it all comes full circle.
It does.
So Meta is taking a more open approach with their AI technology, at least for individual users.
It seems that way. They believe that making Llama more accessible will encourage innovation and accelerate the development of new AI applications.
That's an interesting strategy.
It is. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
And their latest version, Llama 3.1, is supposed to be even more powerful, right?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
They're also focusing on developing these AI agents that can complete tasks autonomously without any human input.
AI agents? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
But think about the potential. Imagine AI agents that can manage your schedule, book your travel, or even handle your finances.
Wow, that's a lot of trust in AI.
It is. But the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, so we've covered the essentials, the infrastructure companies, and now these tech giants that are integrating AI into their core businesses. That brings us to that final category, which the Motley Fool calls the wild card.
The wild card. Always got to have one.
Gotta have a wild card.
And that wild card is Tesla.
Tesla. What do electric cars have to do with AI?
I know, it seems like a bit of an outlier compared to the other companies we've discussed.
It does, yeah.
But there's a logic to it. The article suggests that incoming government policies under the new Trump administration could be very beneficial for Tesla.
Okay, what kind of policies are we talking about?
Specifically, they mentioned the possibility of the Trump administration fast-tracking regulations around full self-driving technology.
Ah, okay. Now I see where this is going. Tesla's been developing its self-driving capabilities for years.
Years. They're way ahead of the curve on this.
If regulations become more favorable, they could be in a prime position to deploy robotaxis.
Exactly. And that robotaxi market is projected to be enormous.
Yeah. How enormous are we talking?
Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, which is known for its bold predictions, estimates that it could be worth a staggering $28 trillion over the next decade.
$28 trillion. That's an insane amount of money.
It is. Of course, there's still a lot of challenges to overcome.
Right, like safety and all that.
Exactly. Developing and deploying robotaxis safely and reliably is no easy feat.
No.
But if Tesla can pull it off, the rewards could be massive.
So Tesla is the wild card because its success in the AI space depends heavily on factors outside of its control.
Right, like government regulations and the pace of technological development.
It's a gamble.
It is a bit of a gamble. Investing in Tesla in the context of AI is a bet on its ability to navigate those uncertainties and capitalize on a potentially huge market opportunity.
That makes sense. All right, so we've explored 4 different categories of AI stocks, each with its own unique opportunities and risks.
It's a diverse landscape.
It is. It's been a fascinating journey through this evolving landscape.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier. You said that hyperscalers and cloud providers have to pay for access to Meta's Llama model.
Right. For the most part, it's free for individual users.
Right, but for the big companies,
They got to pay.
they got to pay.
Makes sense from a business perspective.
It does, yeah. So these hyperscalers are essentially the customers of the essentials and infrastructure companies we discussed earlier.
Exactly. They need those powerful processors and chips and the manufacturing capacity to keep up with their massive computing needs.
So it all comes full circle.
The circle of AI. The essentials and infrastructure companies are building the foundation.
Right.
The tech giants like Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta are leveraging AI to transform their businesses.
Uh-huh.
And the hyperscalers are providing the computing power and data that makes it all possible. And then we have Tesla, the wild card, betting on a future where AI-powered robo-taxis revolutionize transportation.
It's a fascinating ecosystem, isn't it? And it's evolving so rapidly.
It is. It's an exciting time to be following the developments in AI and the impact it's having on the stock market.
I agree. So for our listener who's been following along with this deep dive, what's the key takeaway here? What should they be thinking about as they consider potential investment opportunities in the AI space?
Well, I think the most important thing is to understand that AI is not a monolithic entity.
It's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing.
Right.
It's a broad field with many different applications and investment opportunities.
Okay.
It's not just about picking the next hot AI startup.
Right.
It's about understanding the different layers of the AI ecosystem and identifying the companies that are well-positioned to benefit from the long-term growth of AI.
So they should be thinking about the essentials and infrastructure companies that are building that foundation.
Yes, the foundation is key.
The tech giants who are integrating AI into their existing businesses, and the potential disruptors like Tesla who are betting on the future of AI-powered transportation.
Exactly. And of course, it's crucial to do your own research. Understand the risks involved and make informed decisions based on your own investment goals and risk tolerance.
Always good advice.
Remember, the Motley Fool article we've been discussing is just one perspective. It's important to gather information from multiple sources and form your own conclusions.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversify that portfolio.
That's great advice. This deep dive has been incredibly insightful, and I think it's given our listener a lot to think about. What are your final thoughts on the future of AI and its potential impact on the investment landscape?
Well, I think we're still in the early innings of the AI revolution.
Early innings, okay.
The advancements we're seeing today are just the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
AI has the potential to transform industries, create new markets, and generate incredible wealth for those who invest wisely.
It's an exciting time.
It is. But it's also a complex and rapidly evolving field. So it's important to stay informed, be adaptable, and approach investment decisions with both enthusiasm and caution.
Well said. All right. I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have a lot to digest.
A lot to digest.
But hopefully it's been helpful.
I think so. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI stocks.
It's been my pleasure.
And to you, our listener, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening.
We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the AI landscape and the exciting investment opportunities that lie ahead. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive. As we've been talking about these different companies and their strategies,
Yeah.
it's really struck me how vast the potential impact of AI is.
It's huge.
It's huge. It really is. It's not just about the tech industry itself, is it?
No, not at all. Remember that $15.7 trillion projection we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
That economic impact is going to ripple across almost every sector imaginable.
Exactly. We've been focusing on companies directly involved in AI development and infrastructure.
Right, the core players.
But what about the companies that will use AI to revolutionize their own industries?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, give me some examples. What could this look like in practice?
Well, imagine AI-powered diagnostic tools that can detect diseases much earlier
Wow.
and more accurately than traditional methods.
That would be a game changer for healthcare.
A total game changer.
Wow.
Or think about AI-driven financial algorithms that personalize investment strategies and manage risk more effectively.
So it could revolutionize how we invest and plan for the future.
Exactly. Less human error, potentially.
And what about manufacturing? I've heard a lot about AI being used to optimize production processes and create entirely new materials.
Oh, absolutely. AI has the potential to transform manufacturing in some pretty incredible ways.
Like how?
Well, it can help companies optimize their supply chains, predict equipment failures before they happen, and even design products that are lighter, stronger, and more sustainable.
So it's about efficiency and innovation.
It's about doing things better and smarter.
So what you're saying is that the investment opportunities in AI go far beyond just the companies that are building the technology itself.
Precisely. The real impact of AI will be felt in the way it transforms existing industries and creates entirely new ones.
So that's where the really exciting investment potential lies.
That's where the smart money is looking.
So for you, the listener, the takeaway here is to think big.
Think big.
Don't just limit your research to the usual suspects in the tech world.
Right. Broaden your horizons.
Consider the industries that will be fundamentally changed by AI.
Disrupted by AI.
Disrupted by AI, yeah. And look for the companies that are positioned to lead the charge.
The ones who are embracing the change.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of AI stocks.
It has been fascinating, hasn't it?
It has. We've explored historical trends, analyzed promising companies, and even dared to speculate about the future.
We did a lot of speculating.
We did.
But it's all part of the fun.
It is. What are your final thoughts on the future of AI and its potential impact on the investment landscape?
Well, I think we're still in the early stages of this AI revolution.
Still early.
The advancements we're seeing today are just the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
AI has the potential to transform industries, create new markets, and generate incredible wealth for those who invest wisely.
Oh.
But it's also a complex and rapidly evolving field.
Right.
So it's important to stay informed, be adaptable, and approach investment decisions with both enthusiasm and caution.
A balance of both.
Exactly.
Well said. All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. AI is a big topic.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI stocks.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to you, our listener, thanks for tuning in.
We appreciate your time.
We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the AI landscape and the exciting investment opportunities that lie ahead. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.